Welcome to the Nerdvana podcast, everyone, for the month of January. I am John Murphy.
And I'm Ian Noit.
And this month's movie is something we decided to branch out of our comfort zone. This was something proposed by my co-host. Ian, what is it?
It's called Claw, a film that came out last year.
And how did you come across it?
I saw it in Walmart, in the bargain bin.
Yes, we're doing a direct-to-video movie from Walmart, of all places, and a bargain bin movie at that. And let me tell you something, this is a movie unlike any I have ever seen. Don't get me wrong, I have seen bad movies, people. From the laughably bad, such as Birdemic Shock and Terror and Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, to the absolute abominations of nature, like The Last Airbender and Dragon Ball Evolution, whose crimes against humanity make Pol Pot look like a dead pope. But this movie I can say without any hint of irony, is surprisingly not that bad.
Not quite where I thought you were going with that. But I have to agree.
Yeah.
For what it is, I could certainly recommend it. Surprisingly, for a bargain bin movie I saw in Walmart, this is one of those pleasant surprises.
Yeah, not only that, you're recommending it as a paleontology enthusiast.
Yeah. And it... Not only a paleontology enthusiast, a Jurassic Park nut.
Yeah.
And I was so hesitant about this movie. I thought we were going to torture me relentlessly with this movie. And yet here I am, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, me too. I
don't know what to say.
It's the end of times, although that's kind of been going since 2016.
Yeah, but regardless.
Yeah, I mean, good God. Yeah, so a bargain... Alright, usually a bargain bin movie that comes from Walmart already has that kind of reputation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking like B movie quality.
For reference, folks, I got Terminator Genesis sitting over there, and I got that out of the bargain bin. It's still in the wrapper. I still have not watched it.
Yeah, but the difference between Claw and Terminator Genesis is that Genesis should have been a direct-to-video, whereas Claw is direct-to-video.
Would it have done well in theaters? I don't think so.
No.
No, it would not have done well in theaters, but as a direct-to-video or direct-to-DVD, direct-to-video release, still not bad, in my opinion.
And all right, viewers.
Although saying that, I did get Terminator 2 out of the bargain bin as well, so.
Must have been an older copy.
Perhaps, but regardless.
I've noticed that. I've noticed that in my trips to Walmart in the past. I don't go there anymore. But speaking of noticing things, I'm sure some of you viewers have noticed Ian kind of be a little bit choppy right now.
Am I?
Yeah, you are. On my end, you're kind of freezing in and out.
Of course I am. Does the audio work?
The audio does work.
Well, that's all that needs to happen.
Yeah, he got a new camera.
Yeah, it's 4K, which apparently is not translating well over the internet.
Well, let's see. I know I kind of went with just a 1080p webcam. Oh, so maybe it's just a computer. Maybe your computer can't handle 4K, or maybe it's just a simple
This
internet.
is a brand new laptop, dude. This is brand new.
It's brand new. Okay, so it may not be that. So
it could just be other people on the Wi-Fi. That's
it could be
what it is.
Could be an internet connection.
Oh well. Hopefully, I'll figure things out in the future. But as long as my audio is relatively tangible, that's fine.
Yeah.
We did audio podcast for a while, so
yes,
oh well.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
If you want, I could just shut down my camera and just do it this way.
No, no. Then I'd probably have to. Turn off my video, and then we just be.
It doesn't matter.
What?
It doesn't matter. It just looks like this. Not that bad.
Yeah, but on my end, your picture is so small. It's so small, and I don't know how to. I don't know how to increase it. I don't know. It must have been this new update from Zoom.
Of course. Of course it is.
We're not even talking about the movie anymore.
No, we're talking about my new setup that I still need to figure out how to operate. Regardless, let's get started. Claw.
Mm-hmm.
What can we say about it?
I don't.
Other than a pleasant surprise.
It is a pleasant surprise. I mean, it still does hit some of the, generic B movie marks. I mean,
well, that's the easiest kind of movie to make, honestly. If you want to do a decent movie, B movie's one of the easiest ways to go.
It is. And it's got a generic story, two people, get lost in the desert, and they go around, and they go to usually a deserted area. This one happens to be a ghost town. Find the one guy that's still the one person that's still living there, and then all hell breaks loose at night. But what's impressive is that what's impressive is whoever wrote this, I think it was the director himself, actually kind of knew which ones to kind of change. Because there were some things that were kind of surprising to me, and I have not watched a whole lot of B movies. I just got started watching the laughably bad movies that were made on low budget, but through the filter of riff tracks. That's how I was able to watch Birdemic, which I highly recommend if you are not too much of a stickler for perfection. Or perfectly good executed movies. But if you just like absolute train wrecks, yeah. Oh my god. But Claw, I find myself, I think, okay, it's a pleasant surprise, but it's not perfect.
Obviously, it's a low budget. Was this independent? It obviously was.
I'm pretty sure it was an independent, because I certainly don't.
I'm back.
Huh? You're back. You're back, and then you're out. There, now you're back.
Ah, shoot. Whatever.
You're back. You're back.
You want me to? I can send you the my image if you just want to overlay that for me. That
okay.
Or to save some of the Wi-Fi to better audio.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I may have to do that.
Until I figure this out. That should help the audio quality at least a little bit.
Yeah. Although the next thing that you could get is one of these microphones, Ian. I think you're using the on-camera mic, aren't you?
Perhaps. Now your audio's shit.
Okay. Okay, well then. Fine. Really? It's the same microphone I've always used, although I decided to switch the speakers just in case I have to share a computer screen. But anyway, we're getting off track once again. All right, so what's the story about?
That's all right.
Obviously, yeah. What's the story about? Well, of course okay, so it's pretty much generic. I just said that, but who are the characters? Well, it's a man and woman. Are they a couple? No, actually. No, they're friends. They're best friends, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's so surprising is that this is just one of the few surprises from in the movie is that usually these kind of things it's usually a couple that are like having some problems, and their trauma experience is what brings them close together. Not in this movie.
No, again, a pleasant surprise and a change from the normal routine of things that we see time and time again in these movies. The best friend of the main character is gay. Although I do have to critique it slightly. It's a little stereotypical. It walks that line of being stereotypical, but it's not overbearing.
As long as that's not kind of like the whole thing. It's not like the director told him when you're hiding from the raptor, hide gay. How exactly do you hide gay? It's a lot different than when you die, I want you to die sexy.
How do you do that?
How do you do? Well, look at Rise of Silver Surfer from Fantastic Four, and you'll know.
I refuse. I don't remember anyone dying sexually in that movie, and I refuse to revisit it unless you pay me, John, $50.
Okay. All right. So
we're never doing
all right.
that
The
movie.
best. Okay. So the gay best friend. That's the guy. The girl or the woman is a stand-up comic. Okay, that again, new territory in these types of movies. And they're on their way to a gig, but they have car trouble. Why? They almost hit what? A coyote?
I think that was a coyote. Yeah, having been out in the desert.
Yeah. Yeah, having nearly died in the desert.
Yeah, a few times. Oh well.
All right. So my expectation for after seeing that is like, oh great. So the engine's probably gonna go bad, or battery, or what, or something involving fuel, and then they're stranded. Well, no, they get a flat tire.
Honestly, the most relatable thing ever.
I know, and also the most realistic and unexpected surprise in this movie. So yeah, like I said, this movie is full of surprises. I think maybe instead of just going plot by plot what this movie is, because you watch the movie, although technically I wouldn't count it as a movie. We'll get to that later. It's just okay. The guy that runs the ghost town that they pass through, it's literally marketed as a ghost town, which Ian, did that give you Perfection Nevada vibes?
I've been waiting for you to bring this up. I've been checking out other people's reviews on this. The one I kept seeing a couple times, people kept bringing up Tremors.
Yeah.
And you have to get the suspicion that maybe the filmmakers were fans of Tremors.
Hey, can't fault them for that. But yeah, I'm watching it, and when they get to the ghost town, I'm going like, and they wandered onto the set of the Tremors movie.
It's, again, taking inspiration from multiple sources, not always a bad idea.
Yeah, not a bad. I mean, look at Alien.
There you go.
That was from so many sources. All right, the guy who runs the ghost town, he apparently owns it because it is like a tourist destination, but it's in disrepair. He owns it, and of course he comes across as the creepy old man.
Yeah,
we've kind of seen this before. We see this before, like Scooby-Doo, all these other some of these low-budget horror movies. And he says, I got a brother, but he's kind of off the reservation, right? He's away right now, but he'll be back tomorrow morning.
There won't be a tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it turns out he's dead. Did the brother kill him? No, he just died. Actually, we don't even know how he died. I'm just realizing that.
Yeah, neither here nor there. It doesn't matter, really.
Yeah. I guess we can just assume natural causes, or maybe the raptor got him.
Oh, good God. He was the first casualty.
Uh-huh. All right, so yes, all right. The two main characters find out that the old man lied to them. When asked why, you think that it's got to be something bad. It's like, that kind of whole, that whole creepy isolated house in the middle of nowhere. And he goes, because I wanted the company. And then when I've watched this 3 times, and every time I hear him say that, I go, "Aw."
Yeah, again, surprise.
I do like these surprises. There are a few of them. And surprisingly, after that little exchange, you don't want that old man to die.
Yeah, he's like, at first he's like, okay, he's gonna be the first one to die on screen due to the raptor. And then it's just like, okay? And then when we're not gonna get to that yet. We haven't really talked about the real supposed star of the show.
Oh yes, the star that gets his actual credit in the movie, which is hilarious. Right, the raptor.
Yeah.
Roger the Raptor.
Okay, you could tell that the filmmakers were having way too much fun here.
Oh, good God. Yeah. I mean, just judging by the one outtake at the end of the movie, yeah, they had a lot of fun.
It was, oh my goodness, Claw is just one of those special movies. It's not super serious, but back onto the topic of Roger. He is your standard Jurassic Park raptor.
Mm-hmm.
Which sort of surprised me because based on the video case I saw in Walmart and the description on the back, I thought, okay, this is like a remake of the ending half of Fallen Kingdom. That's what I thought it was. And once again, pleasant surprise.
I know. I'm looking at the poster. Okay, it uses the fossilized raptor claw for the C, and it's got blood on it. And I'm just kind of realizing, for a movie about a killer dinosaur, there's a surprisingly very little body count.
2?
Yeah, two people. Well, three actually.
Yeah.
Just three. But that's what happens when you. Of course, again, low budget movie.
Oh, but this movie is one of the. Well, let's keep talking about this Raptor thing. He is. At first, I'm like, okay, because the first appearance, you always have to nail that first appearance of your monster, whatever it is. In Tremors, it was the Graboids. In Jurassic Park, it was your Velociraptor.
And your T-Rex.
And your T-Rex. And your, I guess, Brachiosaurus. Even though it's not a monster, you gotta convince the audience they're real animals.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, I gotta say, they pretty well damn nailed down that first appearance of the Raptor.
Mm-hmm. They actually wasted no time in kind of establishing on how intelligent the Raptor was.
Oh, they pulled a Fallen Kingdom.
Uh-huh. But less hokey.
Yes, less
surprisingly.
Hokey. Yes.
Less hokey. Surprisingly less hokey. Even with a movie with special effects that are hokey.
Yes. And this, again, pleasant surprise. That is the motto of this movie right here. Pleasant surprise.
And it's kind of strange is that the whole movie, when you look at the cover and the poster, you definitely feel like this is supposed to be a horror movie. It seems like it's marketed toward that. And then you see the tagline, "Do you think he saw us?"
Yeah.
That should be the best clue of what type of movie this is.
Again, Tremors, horror comedy.
Uh-huh.
And to be honest, they don't play up the comedy aspect too much. So that you still
Not too much.
fear the Raptor in the movie. You know it's dangerous and scary. But it's not so disturbing and scary that you can't let kids watch it.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah, I mean there's like some, let's see. Honestly, there's not. Honestly, yeah, the writers kind of knew when to bring in the comedy and when to play out the scary parts.
Yeah.
It is very well balanced. It's as well balanced as Shaun of the Dead, like what Shaun of the Dead did for zombie horror movies.
You did.
Yeah.
I keep going back to Tremors because I think Tremors did it beautifully.
Oh yeah.
You can have your jokes and your fun moments, but then when shit gets real, you buckle down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Because I just hate it when characters are in a very serious situation and you have that one character that just can't stop cracking a joke, or at least or a quip or a riff or any kind of thing. It's like, dude, it's usually a guy, but it's like, dude, focus.
Shut up.
You are not in the moment. Yes.
Yes. And to be honest, if I want horror with comedy in that vein, I don't go to a movie for that. If I want over-the-top comedy and horror, I go watch Markiplier. That's where you get that level of comedy and horror. If you're in a movie, you got to take things a little more seriously.
Yes. Tyler actually showed me video clips of Markiplier along with Jacksepticeye and a couple other gamers playing Phasmophobia. Told me to look at the part where they hear Markiplier's scream coming over the walkie-talkie.
I love that. and it's quiet, and then they just hear him through the house.
Oh, God.
That's how you do it well, and that also illustrates perspective. If you're watching Mark's perspective, it's terrifying. If you're in Jack's or Bob's perspective in that, you're dying.
You're dying of laughter.
Yes, and that's something that Claw takes. It takes the vein out of that because it's all about perspective.
Of course, there were some things that kind of made me laugh because they were unintentionally funny. When Julia, the comedian character, when she's trying to, escaping the raptor, distracting it, she goes through a fence that has a door, and then she closes the door, and it's like, oh, yeah, close the door. That's really gonna stop the raptor. And then when the raptor actually goes through it, he's like, oh my God, it actually went through the fence. Because viewers, we love Jurassic Park. We've seen Jurassic Park 100 times. We know what raptors, these types of raptors are capable of.
Yes, and we can't skate around this anymore, John. This movie takes a heavy dose of that Jurassic Park energy.
Yes, it does. I can definitely feel it in the music. What were you thinking of?
When Ray died, he pulled a Joffrey. When he got pulled around the door, he did the same exact pose that Jeffrey did as he's being pulled into the raptor's cage in Jurassic Park, beginning of the movie.
Oh.
He grabs onto the thing.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, right. Oh, God. Yeah, I noticed that too.
And honestly, that was a great touch. I enjoyed it. Part of me, a small part of me, I'm glad they didn't do it, but part of me wishes someone said, "Shoot her!" We didn't even get a clever girl.
No. I think that would have been too on the nose.
Yes. So what they did was near perfect. For what they were trying to do, it was near perfect.
Yeah. No. Honestly, like we said many times before, I had low expectations for this movie, and so when after the first minute, after the credits have finished up, and I'm hearing how these characters interact, I'm seeing these actors, I was like, oh my God, they're really putting their all into it. The acting is just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, for what it is, it's great. And to be honest, this score on IMDb is not correct. It deserves way more than this.
A 4.2. I can understand why it's kind of mixed, but I'm pretty sure some people aren't as old as us. They're not as forgiving. They're not as forgiving as us, and they don't have as much experience as us.
With bad movies.
Yeah, with bad movies. Like I said, I've seen laughably bad movies, but most of them were through the filter of riff tracks. It's very good for people with. It's very good. That's a very good way for people to watch bad movies without giving themselves headaches or aneurysms.
Oh, so don't do what we did for Ghostbusters 2016. Got it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Although Claw is much better than that.
Anything is much better than Ghostbusters 2016.
What about the Star Wars Holiday Special?
That's still. Maybe I should have had you watch that through the filter of riff tracks, because there is one that does exist.
I have to look it up.
Yeah.
But Claw is. What else can we say about it? I know. I always
Well,
knew this
I
was
know
going to be a shorter review for us, but
so did I, but you'll probably notice that there's one thing we haven't talked about because quite frankly it doesn't even really need that much attention. The visual effects.
yeah.
Like I said, we're a low budget movie. The visual effects are not going to be as good as Jurassic Park,
Obviously.
and yeah, and so I know it's pretty obvious, and to give you kind of an example of what the quality of the dinosaur effects are in this movie, here's this small cutaway that I made for the Jurassic Park review. Yeah, it was pretty much like that, and I made that with very little knowledge of how to make 3D models look realistic. This was a much lower budget that achieved the same quality. So if you think so, I'm not disappointed. In fact, I'm actually freaking happy. It's like, hey, I did that by myself with no knowledge. I can do this.
Yeah, and to be honest, if this was somebody's first like real big animation for film, I'd say they did a bang up job.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
I mean, they nailed the first appearance of the raptor, which is always important. And there were a couple shots in the middle that were a little, but as it got closer as it got closer to the end, you at least get used to it. It's not so bad. The animation is unwatchable.
Yeah, not unlike Birdemic.
Oh god, to be honest, for what it is, low budget. I think this was independently made. It's very good.
Yeah,
this would win any film contest. I guarantee it.
It would. Now, okay, I do have a couple issues with the movie.
As do I.
One of them is just a nitpick. I really think they should have at least hold off on revealing the raptor, because the first shot you see of the raptor is the camera pulls out when the guy is giving it its food, which has got to be the bloodiest ham I've ever seen.
I was gonna say.
I don't even think it was cooked and cooled.
No, it wasn't. It was just a raw ham.
Jeez. Ugh. And it pulls out, and it actually goes through, and then the creature comes down, and we see through its jaws. Now, I kind of feel like this is just a personal nitpick of mine, is that I kind of thought maybe we should have at least reserved the reveal of the raptor for when the guy gets wounded, as it's revealed later. It's as limit that to its first appearance, but then that probably would have just been, typical jump scare writing.
Probably.
Which, yeah. And okay, so but the most legitimate complaint that I have is the runtime.
Yeah, I have it pulled up right here. 1 hour and 21 minutes is the total runtime, including credits.
Yes. The actual movie itself, from beginning to end, is about an hour.
Yeah, an hour, 10 minutes or so.
An hour 7, if I remember. I saw this from on Tubi TV, which is where I also see a lot of riff tracks.
Yeah, it's this movie is short. I do think one idea I do have how they could have buffed out the length a little bit. Go into more detail about the raptor, how it was made, why it was made. We don't get any detail about the creature.
Not really. It's just more.
Not necessarily a bad thing. Tremors didn't give us any explanation on where those things came from in the first film. But in this instance, to pad out the runtime a little bit, go ahead and explain the creature a little more.
Yeah, I mean, going back to Tremors, I mean, we didn't know much about like the origin of the creature, but we did kind of knew, but it was able to kind of reveal like its that its ability to learn, how it moves, and also what its weakness is.
Yes, in this movie, it's just your standard Hollywood raptor.
Yeah, you could have just you could have gotten the same effect by just putting Jason or Mike Myers in those inflatable T-Rex costumes, and it's the same thing.
That might take away the fear factor, John.
I know, but I had no other analogy.
But yeah, I mean, you viewers probably get my point. I mean, yeah, it's okay for what it is. It's actually great for what the overall movie is. It's just the length should have been padded out a little bit.
Yeah, it's not so much a movie as it is like a standalone episode.
I've seen reviews say that this would have been a great pilot for a series.
Yeah, and it pretty much nails everything for a nice it pretty much nails everything. It's shot pretty well. There's good composition, there's good writing, and for the most part, and there's great acting. Now for the ending, there's two endings. There's two endings.
Yeah, there's two endings.
There's both the same. I think they just ran out of time during filming. They were on a tight deadline, and so they couldn't really pad it out, and that's why they had to slow the credits down. My God, they're so slow.
I skipped the credits. I left when the movie ended.
But all right, so the two endings are like after they survive the raptor, it flash forward to a year later. Julia is now a successful comic. She's giving her routine that lingers too long on the raptor.
Yeah.
And yes, and then all of a sudden a T-Rex like bursts through the backdrop and scares everyone, and it eats Kyle, the gay best friend. Yeah, we never mentioned his name. His name is Kyle. And then camera pulls in. She screams, and then she wakes up in the bed. It was that old cliche. It was all a dream.
And then
it turns out, no, it was real.
The T-Rex is real.
There's a T-Rex outside. There's a dinosaur outside my bedroom.
Oh my gosh. They pulled several Lost Worlds, and I'm glad we did Lost World before we did this.
Yes.
Let's see. There's a dinosaur outside my window. They ate a dog. The raptor ate a dog.
Ate a dog.
Oh, we can't forget. They did the freaking ripples of water in the cup at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, they.
Which I mean, at this point, you have to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're taking quite a bit. You're taking a good homage from Jurassic Park. Might as well throw in one obvious one.
Yep. I'm surprised they didn't. Did they use any of the sound effects, dinosaur sound effects?
Not that I noticed. Not that I noticed.
Yeah.
Which I mean, good on you for artistic integrity.
Mm-hmm. And let's be fair. You don't need to use just those sound. You don't need to use Jurassic Park sound effects, to make a dinosaur sound. I mean, you can pretty much make a dinosaur with anything. Heck, the Japanese made Godzilla's roar with a double bass instrument and a pine tar glove.
Yeah. You can do just anything. I mean, it can be organic. It can sound a little more monstrous. It depends what your styles you're going for. As long as it fits the style.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I think now, okay. So we kind of covered some. We covered most of the. Who do you think was the best character, Ian?
Oh, Julia, by far, the main character.
Honestly, I kind of liked Kyle.
Well, Kyle's just fun.
He's fun, yeah. And oh god, I was so sad when it looked like he was gonna die.
Oh yes.
I was like, he was funny.
Yeah.
He was.
But yeah, no.
He got the most laughs in the movie.
But Ray.
And
Ray.
What?
Ray. The old dude.
Oh right, yeah. Oh god. I was also kind of surprised that he also seems to suffer from seizures.
Yes, and I mean, good for giving your character an extra weakness that ups the stakes, and it's not an overhand weakness. It makes sense. It's relatable.
Yes, it's real. And after seeing, and then when I see the shot of him looking up at the blinking light, and I was like, okay, dude, don't look at that too long. Otherwise, you're gonna lose your vision. And then I see him collapse and start convulsing. I was like, oh my god, it's a seizure.
It's even worse.
And then that's when it clicked. That's when it clicked to me. Oh yeah, God, I remember I remember seeing those warning signs that these could cause seizures. And then I'm suddenly remember that banned Pokemon episode?
Yes.
Yes, with Porygon. I actually did see that on the internet. I didn't go into seizures, but I did feel goofy watching it. I felt like I was getting high from watching that episode.
Oh geez, John, stay away from that episode.
I was going like
But
oh,
Claw is honestly. Can you recommend this movie?
I honestly do. Despite its faults, I do kind of recommend it. But one more question: what's your favorite part in the movie? Could either be something funny, something scary, or something well done. A good shot.
Oh, my favorite shot is when Julia and the Raptor are facing off on top of the trailer.
The poster, yes, the money shot.
Yeah, that money shot. That is, that's straight out of Battle at Big Rock with that money shot with the Allosaurus.
I know.
There's something about backlit dinosaur shots that does wonders from an artistic perspective for me. I love it so much. I honestly wish we did see more of
it. My favorite part, and it's the one that made me laugh because I think it was unintentional, but they kept it in the movie. As during when the T-Rex busts through the laugh club, the comedy club. Everyone scatters away, and then there's that one woman who's like still screaming, ah, ah, ah. She pauses and then runs away.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's like that is my ultimate. It's because it still gets a laugh out of me. I've seen this three times in quick succession. It still makes me laugh.
It is something I thought once. It is honestly something I probably could return to. Mm-hmm. Especially with friends.
Oh yeah. And like I said, it's shot pretty well. It's very well lit. The writing is standard.
It's not terrible.
It's not groundbreaking. It's not groundbreaking, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I mean, it's passable.
Yeah.
And the effects. I mean, seriously, if you're honestly the effects are forgivable.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to see, like we said, you're not going to see Jurassic Park level effects. You're going to see very good independent film effects.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I've seen a lot worse dinosaur special effects than this.
I've seen worse visual effects, period.
Absolutely, but I'm trying to keep my focus a little narrower.
Okay.
But yes, no, we've seen a lot worse effects, and we've seen a lot worse dinosaur special effects. This is honestly, what's this film rated?
What's the film rate? 4.2 out of 10 out of IMDb, according to IMDb.
No, not that. The actual film rating, like PG-13, PG.
Oh, good question.
Can't find anything on it.
Yeah, we should have expected this when we decided to talk about this movie.
Yeah.
This isn't under the radar movie.
It really is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not even rated.
Mm-hmm. I think. All right. I would say there's not too much. There is some blood, but it's not overall gory. I would actually put it in the PG-13 rating.
I would have to agree if we were to rate it. This is
a PG-13 because there is the one utterance of the F word.
Yes, and you can get away with that once.
Mm-hmm. Although I think that's more if it refers to the act of the F word.
No, because they did it in Tremors. But this is a light PG-13 movie. It's not too bad. As far as gore.
It's a lower level PG-13. PG-13. If it didn't have the F word in it, it probably would be a PG.
Yes. But aside from that, this is something if we look at what kids are watching and listening to nowadays, oh frickin' well.
Yeah. Oh, just looking at some of the cartoons I used to watch as a kid, I am surprised at what went over my head as a kid.
But Claw is a light PG-13 movie if we were to rate it. This movie, like I said before, watch it with friends. It could probably keep the kids busy for an hour and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how old would the kids have to be? Because I don't think preschoolers would like all the blood. Well, I don't know. I think I have to rewatch this again because I remember when I was in preschool, I watched Land Before Time, and good God, was that visually scary! And there was hardly. I mean, seriously, the T-Rex's eye, who's supposed to be unconscious, opens right up, and you see the reflection of the little dinosaur in it. It's like.
I mean, it probably this movie would probably obviously fine for preteens.
Preteens, so elementary schoolers.
Yeah, late elementary
school.
Into middle school. That's where this movie is targeted, or could be watched. I suppose.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Who did the music? I got it pulled up here. Corey Wallace did a good job. Story, fine.
Yeah,
Screenwriting, fine. Directing, all pretty good.
Yeah, the only fault is, of course, the very ending, which
what are you gonna
do? One reviewer on IMDb kind of titled that pretty well. I'm not going to read the whole review, but pretty much called it "tripped at the finish line."
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the movie, the majority of the movie, from beginning to
the ending,
the actual ending, is pretty good. But then the endings after that, yeah, that's funny stuff right there.
Yeah, but a lot of people on IMDb, take it for what you will, are saying far better than expected, surprised is an understatement, stupid, self-destructed at the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
One on here says brilliant. I was sold by the tagline. Worth watching for the lulls. Story is predictable, but somehow I really enjoyed it. So the reviews are mixed, but
yeah, the reviews are mixed, but but the general consensus for some of it is that it is surprising.
and that's the same here. I mean, it's something. I mean, you watched it 3 times. I might go back and watch it.
Yeah, and the reason why I just watched it 3 times, well, was mostly because I still wanted it fresh in my mind before we did the review. We were supposed to do it last week,
but John's got a project coming up.
Yes, yes. So yes, we'll get to that at the end, but so let's just wrap this up with a rating.
Our ratings, yeah.
With our personal ratings. Well, I definitely know Draco gives it 2 claws up.
Is that good or bad?
But let's what?
Good or bad?
Dude, it's good. You heard. Dude, why do you ask? Seriously, why do you ask that? That's yeah. All right, but me personally, okay. So aside from the ending, the visual effects, like I said, it's shot pretty well. This movie was definitely made from people who knew what they were doing for the most part. So I'm not giving it a very high rating, but I'm definitely not giving it a low rating. It's definitely, I'd say, a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I gotta say in the same boat you are, John. And for me, it's a 7 out of 10 because although they had a lot of fun making it, I can just tell by how it was made, by how it was shot, and the directing, and the overall story. They had a lot of fun making it. It's not terrible. It's a lovely little film. And I do think people should give it a chance.
Absolutely. See it once and judge it for yourself.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's see. We still got a little bit of time. So yes, a couple announcements.
Announcements for 2022.
For 2022, yes. We're thinking of actually mixing up Nerdvana podcasts a little bit to kind of venture out beyond just movie reviews. And so we're gonna be doing a new segment called Den of Geeks. I don't know if we've announced this in previous podcasts.
I don't think we have.
Is this the first time, Ian?
I think it's the first time officially during a recording.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, and what Den of Geeks is it's essentially going to be stories from our childhood of some of the similar things that we did, that stuff that we had in common, like the closest times we came to death, or just basic discussion about movies, like what are the best movie adaptations, or what are the best movie adaptations of video games, or video games that video games took from movies.
And we'll try to keep things somewhat related to films, since that's what this podcast is known for. But we could go into the current state of filmmaking currently, because that's a loaded topic.
Yeah, or not even just about films. Maybe Tyler might try to have us react to some video games. You know, like some horror games. You know, like Phasmophobia, Among Us, or what is that? poppy plaything or whatever it is.
No, thank you. We could play some of those. We could all play Phasmophobia.
Yes.
I will be the first to die. But
Yeah.
we're gonna be
die
expanding.
great, you know, die great, like die screaming. Ah!
But we're gonna be expanding out from our standard movie reviews. We're gonna be trying a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, and it's mostly, we're not tired of doing movie reviews.
No, we're just looking for something to spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, because the whole point is to just do something new to kind of make doing this enjoyable and not a job or an unpaid job.
Yeah, we started off. When did we started? September
2018.
September of 2018 is when we officially started the review series. It's now January of 2022. I think it's time to spice things up a little bit.
I think so too.
Don't worry, viewers. We will still do movie reviews.
In fact, I did just have this idea on the way back home today. You know, I was driving because I was planning on picking up my two latest purchases. I bought Venom and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and that got me thinking. You know, Ian, we should probably at least have some time dedicated to the other Spider-Verse movies.
We probably should.
We've already done the first two Raimi Spider-Mans, and we've already done Venom.
Amazing Spider-Man?
We gotta do the Amazing Spider-Man. We need to do Maximum Carnage, or Let There Be Carnage.
Let There Be Carnage.
I'm confused. I confused the Carnage titles. Maximum Carnage is a video game, a decent video game actually. And of course, Into the Spider-Verse. Mostly because of what happened with Spider-Man No Way Home, which as of yet I still haven't seen. But I might have come across spoilers, but I'm taking them with a grain of salt. And all right, so that's just an idea of what you can hope to expect from Nerdvana from the Nerdvana podcast. And the other announcement is, if you haven't seen my unboxing video from yesterday at the time of this recording, it was pretty much my little announcement that I am finally going to try to start a short film. It's a passion project that I realize I've been wanting to do for years, and it's going to be starting in February, and I hope to have it out by this year. I'm going to be sending it to film festivals before eventually putting it either on YouTube or Vimeo. So I hope you subscribe to both my channels, because I will be putting behind the scenes footages, my Instagram. Also follow me on Facebook, because I will be keeping these up to date as best as I can. I got it. As long as I manage my ADHD pretty well.
Yeah, and we'll be here. I don't have any major projects I can announce right now, because hit a few roadblocks in mind currently, but once I get those budgeting stuff and whatnot. But my big project that I'm working on, I'm doing a bunch of research for before I do anything, so I know what I'm doing. But it relates to my job. Look at my profile picture right now if you want to hint as to what that is. But but I got a lot of big plans coming up for what I want to do on my channel and going forward. And you guys will obviously be kept up to date on my channel as to what that will be as soon as I get things ready.
All right. So now with the end of the announcements and the end of our review, I'd say that this has been a successful podcast. What do you say, Ian?
I'd say so, yeah. I mean,
All right.
even just for this one recording and since we started.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure some of you are also wondering where Tyler was. He's under the weather right now. That's all I'm going to say. So he couldn't. So I thought it best if he rests up.
Yeah, definitely. And believe us, you'll see him on again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially when Spider-Man is involved.
Or any video games of any kind.
Yes. Uh-huh. All right. So that concludes this month's Nerdvana podcast. Do join us in February, where we're gonna be tackling something that's actually something from my childhood. Another something that is now going to be celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. And Ian, I think you will actually enjoy it if you can get your hands on it.
I can probably find it.
All right. So be sure to join us in February, where we're going to be looking at an icon of the comic industry, not Spider-Man, but someone else. I don't know where else to lead that go. So where I can lead that. So I'm just going to say this is John Murphy
and Ian Benoit
signing off.